Well, let me start by saying that we see South Korea as a member of a family of democratic countries. As I believe that the current confrontation in the world is not led along the line of East and West, as it used to be in the times of Cold War. But now it seems to be a struggle between democracies and different kinds of autocracies. And we see South Korea with other Asia-Pacific partners like Australia, New Zealand and Japan as our natural partners. We have a number of views that are very similar with South Korea. So I believe that cooperating with such a country is a natural choice. We are not only economic partners, we are also partners in tourism, in culture, but we are also partners in NATO, because South Korea is a partner to NATO, because we believe that we share also our security interests. Countries like Russia, China, North Korea pose a challenge to all of us. And the more we cooperate, the better the security and economic situation for our citizens will be. I have to say, I always cherish a moment where I find a counterpart with whom I can talk without prejudices and sharing the same or very similar or close perception of the world. And we have such an understanding with President Yoon, and I'm happy that I can talk to him freely about a number of challenges and problems that we face around the world, because I know that we are coming from the same foundation, from the same background. We want not only to promote the interest of our own countries, which is natural and I would say even obligatory for a representative of a country, but we also share the same sense of responsibility for the broader family of democratic countries. And in that sense, I think we are on the same page, and that makes it easier for us to exchange the views on a number of difficult issues, because with the same strategic goals, it's always easier to communicate. Someone follows European debate on climate change and transition towards carbon neutral economies. One will notice some disappointment with the so-called Green Deal. That deal has a number of critics within Europe. That is based on the fact that it's quite strict and it imposes a number of goals that will be difficult to achieve. But at the same time, it's also fair to say that we cannot ignore the facts. We cannot ignore that our activities, our human activities, have led to observable change of global climate. In fact, the floods that we have just suffered are with no doubt a result of this ongoing climate change. For a number of countries, it is even more visible because rising level of the oceans had immediate impact on their very existence. So I think cooperating in protection of our nature, protecting climate against the further destructive impact of our activities is a must. And countries that are technologically developed, and I consider both South Korea and Czech Republic to these countries, have a special responsibility in working on new solutions. Solutions when it comes to hydrogen, when it comes to protecting water sources, developing renewable sources of energy or storage of electrical energy. There are many areas where we can add to the improvement of our environment and protect our climate from further destructive changes. And with that respect, I see it as a very promising and perspective area of cooperation. Well, let me say first that for Czech Republic, as well as for a number of European countries, nuclear energy is a critical part of sustainability of their economic growth. As we try to decarbonize and at the same time to get rid of dependency on Russian fossil fuels, we simply have to look at different sources. For a country like Czech Republic, renewable sources will not be sufficient source of our energy needs. So we really have to look at nuclear as a very promising sector. And here we're looking for partners who are reliable, who have the good record in building nuclear power plants around the world. And South Korea was selected by our government not by random choice, but based on assessment of number of factors. And the offer of KHNP was considered, still is considered, to be the best one. We obviously follow with great interest the ongoing legal dispute between the KHNP and Westinghouse and what the outcome will be. We are hopeful that these proceedings will lead to a successful closure of that dispute. And as you mentioned, we also believe in a great potential of developing this cooperation further on, not only on our own nuclear power plant, but also extending that cooperation and good record from I hope, a successful project to other European countries, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, who will be interested in securing their energy supplies through nuclear power. As I said, we see a nuclear power as the crucial element of our energy mix. When we look for the chances how to develop our nuclear sector, we always look at practical deliveries around the world. And South Korean reactors have really a record of reliability when it comes to not only security, but also reliability in terms of the dates of the contract and the cost. And on top of it, the guarantees provided by the government, because we obviously are seeking the highest possible level of guarantees, because these contracts are not only crucially important for our economy, but they also may have a great effect on our stable budgets. And that's why we are seeking for maximum level of guarantees, which we find now with the Korean offer. Well, all the bidders have their sovereign right to present their objections, but at the same time, we see it as quite a natural process that can be observed in all big tenders. It is not up to me to assess these legal aspects. It goes much more to the government. But I sincerely believe that they will be resolved in a short time. And we still consider the Korean offer as the best one based on the assessment of all parameters. We also believe that it will be in the mutual benefit if the legal dispute between KHNP and Westinghouse is closed, because such a closure could lead to mutually beneficial outcome to both sides. With the technology of Westinghouse and the Korean production capacity and experience and guarantees, I believe that it gives us the best possible mixture of parameters that we are looking for. And of course, for both companies, it will be better to close these dispute by settlement rather than ongoing legal disputes. Well, that will obviously depend on the success of this initial contract. But I believe that if let's call it first phase, goes well, and as we expect on the plan, then the chances for continuing with the same arrangement are very high. But of course, it's years ahead, and let's wait for the concrete result. The cornerstone of security for the Czech Republic is with NATO. As a mid-sized European country, we will have no chance defending ourselves on our own. against a country like Russia. We see how difficult it is for Ukraine, and Ukraine is several times bigger than the Czech Republic. So for us, the crucial setup for our own security and prosperity is in the alliance with other European and North American countries. NATO is here for 75 years, and based on facts, the long-lasting and most successful military political alliance. But also, its success lies not only in bringing now more than 30 countries together, but also in having more than 40 partnership agreements with other countries, ranging from Latin America up to Far East. And Indo-Pacific partners are an important group of partners to NATO. So I believe that extending that cooperation, extending not only political consultations but also practical cooperation of our defense industries and research institutions will help both sides to feel more secure and more prosperous. We believe in the world where rules matter, rules that have been agreed and that are respected, because the alternative is global chaos. And I think no one who is sane and reasonable would like to live in a chaos. So we also, whenever we talk to other countries, especially in Africa, Latin America, we don't talk with them at the ideological basis of democracy or liberal democracy. We talk with them at the basis of the respect to the existing rules-based international order. And here I believe that we have a very important and similar role between Czech Republic and South Korea in promoting this system, because it protects us all. And that's why I believe that with this foundation, we can build on mutual cooperation, extending consultations to understand a better situation in our regions. For us, Korean perspective of Asian security environment is extremely valuable. I believe that the same will be for transmitting European perspective to South Korea to understand better this region. Because only if we understand better each other, we can have a much better cooperation. Cybersecurity, disinformation, and propaganda are in fact, two sides of the same coin. When we look at countries like Russia and China today, they are more and more using these non-military tools to affect our countries. That means democratic countries. It is definitely cheaper, and in many ways it is more effective than using military tools. First, there is the factor of deniability, but also the fact that it doesn't cost lives. But they have a very disruptive effect on our societies. So combating disinformation, protecting our networks is crucially important for not only our stability, but security, but also for stability of our societies. What they are doing, they are attacking the very foundations of our societies. They are attacking the values. They are attacking confidence of population to our institutions. They are attacking our organizations, NATO, EU. They are attacking links with partners, sowing distrust and hatred. I believe that it's critically important for us, first to debunk all the myths that are being inserted. Our responsibilities also with protecting our societies from attacks being cyber or hybrid, because this is an entirely new battlefield. And that battlefield is being used by our opponents, and we have the responsibility to protect ourselves. It's a very difficult but also important question. I would probably use the word that was used many times in our history, and it's temporary. The stay of Soviet troops on our territory was designed as temporary, but that temporarity lasted 22 years. The separation of Korean Peninsula lasts even longer. Separation of eastern part of Germany from western part lasted also longer. We will see the result of the war in Ukraine. Again, the separation of some parts of Ukrainian territory will most probably last some time. But in the end, it depends on if we believe in our values, if we believe in democracy as the system that is definitely better than all those we have experienced so far. And I believe that even with regimes like Russia, North Korea, potentially Iran, they will one day come to an understanding that personal liberty, rule of law, human rights are better than the conditions they are living in today. And they will change their mind not based on the power of our weapons, but based on the attractiveness of our values and the way of life. The same, in my view, comes to potential reunification on Korean Peninsula. It must not come through the force of weapons from either side. It will have to come through understanding that people will respect each other, will respect differences, but will respect that they will share their living space and they will share it in peace. For us, cooperation with South Korea is extremely important. South Korea is our third largest non-European partner in terms of trade and economy, after China and the United States. We also have a very similar industrial base. Czech Republic is the most industrialized country within the EU, and the share of industry on our GDP is very high, and it's comparable to South Korea. We have developed industry in a number of areas where we can find partners with South Korean companies. We have also on the soft side very vivid exchange of tourists and culture from both sides. So I believe that the potential that is there for our countries to develop even more extensive cooperation in areas of high technologies, energy, both nuclear and renewable, automotive industry, but also semiconductors and many other areas is there. And I believe that our governments will take these issues further on and will work on a number of concrete projects to increase the existing good cooperation that we have. Well, as the Czech Republic is an industrialized country with a number of developed areas, we also understand that our perspective is not with mass production, but rather with highly developed technologies. That's why we are focusing on the sectors with the highest possible added value. And you mentioned ICT, AI. I would also add high-speed rails and transport grids, but also space, which is a very promising area. And Czech Republic is well known for having a number of companies that are contributing to the projects of European Space Agency as well as North American Space Agency. So I believe the potential for us to cooperate in these highly developed areas of industry are quite high. This soft area of mutual relations is very good to explore, not only that it brings more tourists both ways, but it also gives us a better chance to understand each other and how we see the world around us. There is a well-known series of lovers in Prague that brought millions of Korean tourists to this city. But this country is not just about Prague. We should probably look for lovers in Český Krumlov or lovers of any other beautiful place in this country, which could also extend the interest of Korean tourists to other areas of this country. But you mentioned also the music and theater, where both countries have a lot to offer. But there is also another very promising and rather new area of gaming industry, where there is a great potential that we can explore on both sides. So let me start with my experience. I was lucky to visit South Korea when I held the position of chairman of NATO Military Committee a couple of years ago. And what I especially enjoyed was the Korean cuisine and history. We visited a number of places, and I was absolutely amazed by your countryside and monasteries, and simply the architecture to us is quite exotic but beautiful. As for the recommendation for the President, I think on the side of a pleasant experience, Czech Republic is famous for beer. I know that Koreans love the beer as well. So I would recommend him to try a couple of our craft breweries, the microbreweries that are many around the Czech Republic, and they produce an excellent beer. But of course, there are many more serious cultural interests here. Here in Prague, I would recommend him to visit the Charles Bridge and enjoy the beautiful view from the Charles Bridge to the castle. Or to visit an exclusive from the Prague Castle library of Strahov Monastery, which belongs to one of the gemstones of European culture as well. Thank you very much.